Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends today on Wednesday. Yes, okay, April Fool's is here and still going, and it is still kicking in the game because they not only, I guess I did my other video a bit prematurely, they launched another event called the Spider Tournament using uncommon champions only, which are the green ones, right? To get the PRISM shard for the current orc summon pool. And there's some other stuff. There's some primal shard fragments and a 5-star speed glyph. And it seems that some people have started to do this. I compiled a team to run this myself. I'm going to cover what I'm using and some other characters that I personally recommend to do this. If this is something that you are interested in, it is not going to be for everyone. And what I personally recommend is for people who have been playing for a little while, who have a good amount of gear, that you can swap that gear onto these characters to make it significantly easier. I'll cover what I have. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, of course, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, download using the QR code to get Tholan, Foulbeard, and these three amazing champs. And don't forget to use this promo code to get Tahanarak, the Void Legendary Support Champion, Desert Queen, in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so we need to go into my roster, and we have to filter by green champs. So I am using Armiger, Shield Guard, and this Militia guy. Now, there's a few others that I want to point out. Why am I using this guy? Well, first, we'll cover Militia. He puts out a 60% decreased defense debuff. It is a 60% chance, so it's not guaranteed. But this really helps speed up the run, really. Because that decreased defense debuff on Spider is going to make everyone else hit a lot harder. Now, other than him, everyone else is basically in defense gear. So he's an attack-based champion. I actually gave him my Michelangelo's lethal set. So, I mean, it will be easier if you have better gear to give your characters to get their stats up, right? Now, I did not do any masteries, right? Just because, like, I'm at 93% crit because I'm missing the 5% over here. So they actually do a decent amount of damage with this gear. But yeah, so I did go ahead and book this, which I know is silly and stupid. So I had a ton of rare books sitting around, and I booked him to get the extra 10% chance on this and the cooldown down by 1. Rest, not really that big of a deal, but it's really this. And then for Shield Guard, I would actually recommend running 2 Shield Guards, because if you do, you can basically keep the spider minions from doing anything. So when you book this skill, this AoE defense damage skill, it is on a cooldown of 2. Now, when he crits, for every person that he crits, he gets 20% turn meter. This is a lot. It also does a pretty good amount of damage. Now, depending on how high you're farming Spider, you may or may not one-shot them with just 1 shield guard. So having 2 shield guards rotating the skill means that you're basically always going to have waves of spiderlings down, because he's going to get a free turn after you do this. So that's quite nice there. And then you have to wait a turn. Also, he has a speed down debuff. I know it's only 15%, but this really helps you to keep that turn meter down, even more so on the Spider. And of course, we have 3 Armigers. I have like 1 main Armiger, I guess you could say, and then 2 sub Armigers. So this guy is my main one, because I don't know why. He already had books in him. I had him sitting in my master vault, actually, this 1 Armiger. The other ones I recently built up. So yes, I have 2 Armigers that don't have books in them, and they're just there to do their A1, because when you hit, if it's a critical attack, you decrease the turn meter by 30%. So if you have enough gear sets, especially if they're defense-based, that you can kind of transfer over to get your characters up to 100% crit. And of course, the more crit damage and the better stats you have, the faster this is going to run. But you get that 30% turn meter knockback every single time. And with like 2 or 3 of these guys, it is going to just keep Spider without actually taking a turn. And you're going to see that. Now, I would personally run a second shield guard. If you wanted to replace Militia with the second shield guard, that would be fine too, because it would always keep the spiderlings down. Armiger would always keep the turn meter down on a Spider, and you won't really have a problem there. I took my characters up to 5-star. You probably don't need to do this. I did it just so I could run a crit damage necklace, just so I could get the speed, the time down per kill a bit lower. And so all of my characters have level 12 crit damage necklaces just to make everything else a bit faster. Everyone's also sitting at about, most of them are at about 100% crit, but Shield Guard's 92 actually. Maybe, maybe I'd get that like that. Just do one run of Minotaur just to get the 5% crit rate, and then maybe this just to get it done a little bit faster. I might do that. But I want to kind of show you guys how this runs here on my Spider's Den. Now I am farming 11. I think that it'd be quite easy though to farm stage 9. Stage 9 gives 3 to 5 star gear. 11 gives 4 to 5 star gear. So it cuts out that 3 star. And it's still the same energy cost of 12. Void obviously is a little bit easier, but because all of my characters are spirit based, they're going to do really well on this stage 11. Just the enemy is a little bit harder. Now, actually, there was one more champion. If you don't have any of the ones that I just mentioned, you can pull for them, right? Because we do have that Mystery Shard Summon Rush event that is running right now as well. I mentioned this in my previous video, though, right? So if you want an excuse to pull greens, to try and get some of these characters, then you can do that if you've obviously fooded them by, which would be no surprise, right, that you fooded these characters. There is one more that I want to point out that one of my clanmates mentioned, and it is Saurus of the Lizardmen, because every single one of his attacks are AoE. His A1, his A2 are all AoE attacks. So if you slapped a stun set on this guy, if you guys have a stun set lying around, that you could do this and it would have a good chance of stunning the Spiderling minions as well. You do not need accuracy for stun sets to activate either. So you could gear this guy in like pure attack or pure speed, just huge. Actually, probably you'd want to max his speed out, right? If you have a good support set that has you at 250 plus speed, right, you just be motoring and getting as many stuns in as possible. So this is another character that I want to point out. I am not using him on my setup, but if you want to use it on yours, I'm sure this will be fine as well, actually, for that matter. Look at those ratings. This is the most interesting uh April Fools that I've seen them run. I've only been here around for 2. But anyways, let's jump back into the Spider's Den. Let's do 11. I'm going to show you what it looks like on 11. Right, 9's probably pretty easy for me. So I have this set up in a particular way for my team setup. I have my first, actually no, I think the third one. So my third Armiger will use the A2. This actually hits for 5% of the enemy's max HP. This actually does hit harder than the A1. But I am concerned that if I don't do enough A1s, that I won't keep the turn meter knockback on the boss. So that's why I only have one of my Armigers using the A2. And then I have Shield Guard going in with the AoE, and the Militia going in with the Piercing Bolt, right? And hoping that defense down lands. So I'm going to show you what this looks like here on this. I'll also run 9 as well. I think that'd be really, really easy because it's Void Affinity. But this allows me to basically, see, not all the time is he going to land that action on every hit. So it's a little bit unfortunate only because I think, and not all of my guys are not all of my guys are at 100% crit. So if actually the Armigers don't crit, that is a bit of a problem. Also, the Archer is the first one to be targeted by the Spiderlings, and he very well could die before he get, if that defense down does not come out early on. I think I get like 2 chances to do this. Otherwise, the Spiderlings are going to be targeting him. So that's the only downside. We're kind of keeping, and we don't have a we don't have a speed down yet from Shield Guard either. Is he going to do the 8? No, oh, he needs one more turn. I think he's probably going to die, actually. So if he doesn't get that in the beginning. But we are keeping the turn meter knockback fine on the boss here. That's not really a problem. But we don't have any of those debuffs that I was hoping, either from Shield Guard or from... Oh, there we... Oh, he missed it again. Wow. 2 times, because there's only a 60% chance, actually, for him to get that defense down. So this stage 11 is a little bit trickier. He's dead. It's not really that big of a deal because he doesn't do the bulk of the damage here on this team. And largely, we can keep the Spiderlings down. There we go. We got the speed down. That's helpful. Not that we were having huge issues with the turn meter. But then we have, of course, that other Armiger who comes in and hits for like 65k on the A2. So that's pretty good. And then everyone else is just knocking back turn meter, and that's fine. But this is what I mean. If you see that my Shield Guard basically does like, what, 60% of the Spiderling's HP. If you had a second Shield Guard instead of my Archer, this would probably be very easy in keeping those spiders at bay. I'm wondering, because of the RNG, he would be dead already if the defense down was applied by the archer. I'm just wondering, in the worst case scenario, which is this, can I still get a clear if I don't have the defense down? Right? It would already be done. 2 minutes is pretty long, if you ask me. So I would not be surprised if people want to go back to stage 9, which is significantly easier and won't take as long. And we're going to jump back, and I want to see what the difference is. Obviously, if you have a bunch of time, then no worries. You'll run this. It's going to cost you, I would say, around 2,000 energy, right, to do this all, depending on which one you're running. So I did clear this. This was literally the worst case scenario. I actually got 32 points out of 24 energy. So that was like a 1.25 ratio there to 1 energy, right? So this was actually pretty good. But those were the best case scenarios of like 2 5-star blues. So that was 2 minutes and 21. I'm just going to sell all this because obviously this doesn't matter much for me. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Seeing that 1 million shield guard damage. So if you have a second shield guard, honestly, I would just put in this place 2 shield guards, 3 armigers. That's personally what I would do, or use a Saurus or something like that. So clearly it was able to be done without the defense down debuff, but it was unfortunate that it didn't land, right? So I can still run that no problem, but I want to go back and just go from 11 to 9. Obviously, it's going to be easier, but it's not going to be as much points on average per run because now 3 stars are being introduced. So that defense down landed on the first hit. That's great. So this should be a lot faster, right? It's going to take a lot more damage just overall. And actually, it seems that the shield guard can almost one-shot sometimes here on the Spiderling. So he's going to get the A2 in here. That one's going to get an A2. Almost 60k damage. Like, it's quite a lot. The Spiderlings are going to hit not as hard, right? So you can see he's already half dead, right? We're at 30 seconds. So this is significantly faster when you get that defense down in. He didn't land the speed down yet, the shield guard. You don't really need it, I guess, because with 3 armigers, it should be enough to keep his turn meter down. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the difference, like when my archer guy does actually land the defense down, because it's 60% defense down, right? That's pretty big, especially for a green to be able to land that. So I do think that that's probably one of the better. We're getting about 1 minute here. Yeah, we're gonna get like a 1 minute-ish clear here, so that's fine. There we go. That was 24 energy as well, but we got 8 points. Oh, because we got some mystery shards in there, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, I mean, I would try to aim for stage 9. For most of you people who like are not maybe geared as much as me or have played as long as me, I think that the best stages for you to farm, if you're interested in doing this, would be the Void stages, right? So Void 9, Stage 9 would be the best. Also, it's 3 to 5 star gear. I guess you could run stage 7, right? Because I guess it doesn't matter what kind of accessory you're getting, because you're not really going for that. So maybe stage 7 would be best, actually. If you're running a bunch of spear characters like Armiger and stuff like that, it would be the same. I think the drop rates, I don't know, are they much different between stage 7 and stage 9? Maybe not. And so that's probably better from an energy efficiency perspective. However, I am probably going to farm stage 11 just because my characters are a bit higher level. But I think that for stage 7, you could probably get away with like 4-star characters. But I would probably, yeah. So take some of this with a grain of salt, and because I do have like 5-star characters, you can still clear it, of course, with less. Just lower your expectations. I think these are the best characters to use, though. Other than this guy, I'm just using him because I already had him at 40 for some reason, so I just decided to take him up to 50, and I'll probably food him into someone else later at another point. But definitely have 3 armigers, 2 shield guards if you can, and or switch one of them in for the Saurus that I talked about. But as long as you actually keep their turn meter at bay on the boss, you shouldn't have a problem as long as your characters don't die, as long as you keep the Spiderlings dead. I just think this shield guard is the best character to get that done. Anyways, it's a really fun event. You know what? Oh my god. Okay, a free avatar. Okay, let's change that. I didn't even notice that. Oh my god, is that real? Is that real? Where is it? Oh my god. Okay. We are now the Chicken King. April Fools to everyone. I actually really enjoyed this. It's something different. I know not everyone's going to engage with it, but if you do decide to, then I hope that this video was helpful. Anyways, before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholan Foulbeard absolutely free, Stagnite, Rector Drath, and Farrakhan the Fat, best epics in the game. And don't forget that you can get this Void Legendary Champion by the name of Tahanarak, and all you got to do is use the promo code Desert Queen in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Don't forget. Okay, that's it for me, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next one.
And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.